Hey, welcome to Channel14.com's Bodega Nights. I'm Jal.
I'm Norm.
I'm Dave.
And we are doing the continuation of that other podcast that we said we would do comic books, but like we totally talked about magic for like
For a good few minutes.
for like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we go, comic books. The other thing that we can sort of totally geek out about because,
Dear God. Here we go.
Right, so who wants to throw a topic out onto the table?
Racism.
Racism?
First topic out. Racism.
Fine, racism in what about like race in comics?
You know, racism came out. It was I mentioned this before. It came out pretty obviously in Green Lantern.
Okay.
It started out. Remember, the Green Lantern started out with Alan Scott.
Right.
And then the second one was Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, boom, we got
John Stewart.
the black.
Yeah,
the black Green Lantern. Do you know that they actually had to change his oath because of that?
Why?
The oath goes like in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape
my sight. Yeah.
those who worship me. Yeah, it turned it
You
from
are my power.
They
Darkest
changed it,
night.
into in blackest day, in darkest night.
Why?
Because of racism.
Because it's black.
They actually changed it because of the word black.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
So a
so
little too sensitive though.
Yeah, they changed it. It was and to the point where even Hal Jordan was using it when he turned into Parallax. You can see when he sacrificed himself. It's like in brightest day, in darkest night.
okay.
To be fair, it is actually more accurate to
Yeah, it
say
makes more sense to say darkest night.
in contrast to brightest day as opposed to brightest day, blackest night.
Yeah, unless you said whitest day, but then that kind of doesn't really
True.
evoke.
But apparently ever since, because it was like that, then all of a sudden, boom, it changed almost overnight.
Yeah, but then like Jeff Johns did change a whole lot of the Green Lantern like mythology overnight.
Yeah.
Anyway, with like rebirth and everything.
Not only that, the Lantern War.
Yeah,
the
like, all of a
blackest
sudden-
night.
Like all of a sudden, we have like orange lanterns now.
Yeah, basically we got the
Indigo.
whole spectrum.
Yeah, the
Colors I can't
emotional
even tell
spectrum.
apart anymore.
Yeah, apparently what the heck is different from blue? Isn't indigo like a shade of blue?
I thought it was purple.
Oh, but the
But
change,
then-
because the changes from like blue to indigo to violet.
Yeah, so it's somewhere in between, right? But then, like, they weren't really, they were pretty much called the Star Sapphires, though.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like the Indigo Lantern Corps.
No, they were known as the Star Sapphires to themselves.
Okay, but then
And
to
of course
everybody
the
else.
enemies, but everybody, after they changed the Star Sapphire from a crystal into a ring, they
Yeah.
became more known as the Violet Lanterns.
Okay.
Then there was the
Violet Lantern.
aliens, the other shade of blue.
Ah, yeah, the indigo, the zombie.
the Blue Lanterns were pretty awesome, though. Like,
The Blue Lanterns were what do you call it? They were I would like to call them the impotent lanterns.
What?
but then they're so bad. They're like the ultimate assist.
Yeah.
Like, they magnify the power of everybody else, right?
No, they only magnify Green Lanterns. The Yellow Lanterns, actually, their powers go down.
Oh, yeah.
As for, but the Green Lanterns, it's still, they're not, I can't really call them the ultimate assist because there's a limit to how much they can assist.
Right.
Because the rings are actually, Green Lantern rings are actually capable of exploding because of the sheer amount of power fed into them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
Then you have those lantern members with multiple lanterns.
Yeah.
The combo lanterns.
The mga balimbing or the Yonsuki.
Keep shifting lanterns.
That started with Hal Jordan. As usual,
was
it always
blue
started
and
with Hal
green,
Jordan. No. He started out with green. Green and blue. And then the blue disappeared. Now, the only way he could get the power up, he had to somehow steal the orange lantern. So, at first it was like that. But then Kyle Rayner came in and had to have every color in the spectrum.
And he became the White Lantern.
Yeah,
Every
but
color in
again,
the
of course, Hal Jordan had to trump that by becoming the only sentient Black Lantern.
Yes, by like totally dying.
How do we do this? By jumping and hitting my head on a cliff.
So who's your favorite Green Lantern?
I've always been a Guy Gardner fan.
You Red Lantern, you.
No, he's I mean,
Red Lantern.
if you read Rebirth,
Yeah.
they explained the different willpower potentials of each lantern.
Right.
They said that Kyle Rayner was the artist, everything has to be perfect. John Stewart was the architect, so it has to be the structure has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Then Hal Jordan, where he gets everything done when they need to be. Kilowog, where it's the only one that actually has a sound. And
we're going all the way to Kilowog. Huh?
Yeah, no, it was mentioned.
Just
But
digging
then,
through the entire lantern core.
Right. So what does Mogo think?
oh, Mogo's big. And then here comes Guy Gardner, where they simply say he has an overly excessive amount of flowing willpower, and all he needs is common sense as much as what's left of it.
That's why he's the perfect Red Lantern.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, he'd be angry.
And yeah, it stuck to him to the point where he still has his Red Lantern powers every once in a while.
Yeah, but even like Batman is capable of controlling multiple lanterns.
Well, not really.
Different colored
But
lanterns.
then Batman is totally imbalanced, right? Like, that's like Batman's superpower. You know?
No, Batman's always been imbalanced. Actually, right now it's still ongoing, a debate with Fiel.
Okay.
One of my friends. He's my best friend. He's like the ultimate fanboy for Hal Jordan. And I'm like a fan of Batman. And
Kyle Rayner for the win.
yeah.
Hey.
And I only have one comment when it comes to that. He's like, oh, Hal Jordan can beat Batman any day of the week. And I'm like, there's just one. The first time the new 52 came out, the first thing Batman did was steal Hal Jordan's ring from right off his finger.
Well, no, the first thing Batman did in the New 52 was take out a bunch of owls.
Hey,
Yeah, look at the owls.
Owlman, wait,
Break down
reference.
his own-
That was actually a really good reference. Like, that's why I love Scott Snyder so much as a writer. Like, oh, it's Owlman, like this obscure Earth 2 character. You know?
Owlman. No, he's not an Earth 2
Not
character.
Earth 2.
He was the parallel Earth character, wherein he's the opposite of Batman.
Yeah, the Earth 2 character that was Batman was Batman, right?
Was still a Batman.
Cha-ching! See what we did there?
I mean, look, Superman changed. He became an old man. Earth 1, Earth 2. Batman never changed.
Yeah.
It's just Batman.
Always, even
Batman's
in
Batman.
Red Sun, Batman was still Batman, just Russian.
Yeah, but he had far lesser money then. I mean, if you you saw his Batarang. It was made of pieces of metal cobbled together. It even had a screw for weights.
Yeah. So now we're talking about Batman.
I think pretty much every topic we have will shift to how awesome Batman is.
So it's like all roads lead to Batman.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. God, but like, their favorite Batman is Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson. Why Dick Grayson of all of
Grayson's
that?
your favorite Batman?
Yeah, Dick Grayson was my favorite Batman.
Why?
Like, after Batman got blasted into the past, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it was Batman and Robin with
It was
Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne.
The battle for the cowl. Yeah, they had to like find out which one was gonna get it, and of all people, I really did not expect Dick as
Dick
much.
Grayson, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's the
detective, right?
and the reason I love Dick Grayson so much is that he's as Batman is because he's the exact opposite of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Right, like they both suffered tragedies with their parents. Like Joe Chill wasn't this grand master plan or whatever. It was just like a random killing. Like the parents of Dick Grayson wasn't part of some grand supervillain master plan either, right? It was like the mob.
Right.
No, it was totally Two-Face.
But yeah, like it, you know, their deaths, the deaths of the parents of Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne were, for all intents and purposes, meaningless. But the way so there's a parallel there. But the way they coped with it is absolutely different. Right, the way Bruce coped with it was he became like this little emo kid, and did the whole Batman thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Dick Grayson was a lot more positive about it. Like, take this to better myself as a person.
He actually that it was actually pretty obvious during the first couple of issues while he was already Batman, because Dick Grayson always had this attitude wherein he'd love to talk
a
lot.
Yeah, he makes jokes.
As Batman was like, "Are you really Batman?" Even Commissioner Gordon was like, "There's something different."
This is my thing now.
There was that one scene where like Commissioner Gordon is talking to Batman.
Right.
Well, Dick Grayson is Batman, right? Turns around and then turns back around and is surprised to see Batman still there.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just used to you not being here by now.
Oh yeah, you know, one thing amazing about Batman, I'm sorry to say, is that the fact that he can pull that trick on Superman.
What, like the
whole disappearing
ninja thing?
Yeah. And even Superman, if you read even the Elseworld comics, the one wherein he's already a decrepit old man, and it's Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
And then he was supposed to meet up with Wonder Woman and Superman inside the Kryptonite Cafe, at the Krypton Cafe.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he doesn't know. Wonder Woman and Superman were talking, like, where is he? Like, and then he suddenly pops out and says, "Oh!" And Superman was like, "How'd he do that to me?"
Oh, Batman.
Yeah.
Utility belt.
So we're this is pretty DC centric.
Yeah.
So let's shift a bit Marvel.
Racism in Marvel.
Oh dear God.
Well, not racism in Marvel, but like there was this interesting thing about race in comics.
Yeah.
Like, can you just switch the race of any old comic book character willy nilly? And that was a question that was brought up.
It was brought up, and the worst part was it was. Sorry, we're actually gonna go back to DC on this.
Okay.
When they actually changed a lot of the characters during the New 52.
Okay.
And a number of them were either sex or race. So, for example, Alan Scott.
Alan Scott is gay.
Then I think what they did is Kid Flash is now
he's like African American or something, right? Like
I'm not sure if I'm African American or
Hispanic.
Hispanic. I'm not so sure, but
okay. Who's Wally West?
Yeah, Wally
West.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's
Wally West is now black.
Now, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like is that proper?
Well, again, it's writers' freedom. They can do whatever the heck they want. Of course, the fans may not. It all depends on the fans. Yeah, it's like Wally's black. Wait,
It's not as big as a controversy as Donald Glover as Spider-Man, I guess.
Hey man, he could have been he could have totally been Miles Morales from the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
Because I think it was even Stan Lee that said the only reason that Peter Parker is white is because that was like the default when they were coming up with Spider-Man. But for all intents and purposes, Spider-Man should be a black character, right? Like grew up with a hard life, like rised above, whatever. It's like the ultimate,
it would have been
backstory fits so well.
Yeah. But they would have placed him in the Bronx, not the suburbs. So.
Donald Glover and Emma.
But that what's it? He could have totally been Miles Morales.
Yeah. Ultimate 52.
But the thing is like the answer that I was able to come up with, and also sort of on another like comic book podcast, was like it depends on the character. Like there's absolutely no way that you're gonna make Captain America black.
Apparently, you haven't been up to date.
No, they're doing that, but it's like like if you cast somebody like Samuel L. Jackson to play an old Steve Rogers, that's gonna be
no.
Like Steve Rogers must be white because of what Captain America represents, right? He's like the perfect Aryan punching out Hitler.
Yeah.
It's true.
Brown hair, blue eyes,
Yeah, like it's weird to think about like how Captain America is just so white. and
freedom, for justice, and white people.
But as a function of his character, like he has to be white in order for him to be him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's surrounded by people who actually changed races. I mean, Nick Fury for one. I mean, he used to be white.
Well, that's
that
was retconned.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is,
that was retconned, and he's actually the son.
Yeah. So in the end, it's not really as important. I think characters, when they're extremely iconic, you can't really afford to change the races because they're known as that already. I mean, Alan Scott was famous, but it wasn't as famous as, say, Hal Jordan. You can't change Hal Jordan's sex all of a sudden. Sexual preferences.
Jordana.
And then, although Wally is one of the more iconic, it's always been Barry that was the iconic Flash. To the point where they actually had to bring him back now during Flash Rebirth.
Yeah.
So that only means that I guess they're willing to take these little risks as long as they're not an extremely
significant.
Not too significant.
Yeah, it was because comic books as a medium of storytelling is perpetually in the second act.
That's true.
Like you have a beginning and like a middle.
It's always the middle.
And weirdly enough, all the beginnings happen somewhere in the middle. So it's like, okay, we're gonna give you the origin story of Batman, and it's
Yeah, it's like flashbacks and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, it's weird though, because like comic books is a storytelling medium or in a perpetual state of second act. You know, which is I like it. I don't know if I like it or not. You know,
And the sad part is, if they try to make a finality, it's never a final. It's never usually a final anymore. Because, for example, when they end the character's life,
wait, by the way, we're going to be spoiling
a
lot of stuff.
lot of
We're going to be
things.
spoiling a lot of stuff.
It's
Even
about like 20 minutes a little too late, but yeah.
even like the more recent stuff we're going to spoil, right?
Yeah.
Like our thing about TV shows earlier. That was like,
yeah.
So
And,
be warned.
Be warned.
we're
Cover
going to
your
be
ears.
spoiling.
And yeah, read the comics. If you can't buy them, you know, there are people who are willing to give
Lend
it to you
you.
for.
Yeah, people are going to lend you the comic book, man. You know. Like because a lot of comic books now, like they come with a digital copy as well. Like if you buy like you know, like in the US, right, comic books are usually $3.99, right? But then if you pay an extra $1, you get that
Digital
copy. So
Yeah.
you know, your buddy can lend you
three
the digital
letters,
copy, whatever.
CBR.
Well, yeah, fine. But then you know, we have good comic shops here. Right?
Yeah. Well, pretty much it's always been what you call it, the one
one in
starts
Fully
with
Booked,
starts with a G.
Gibraltar.
It's just me. It's basically
Phil Bars.
No, Phil Bars. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Phil Bars.
I'm sorry about that. Phil Bars has always
Starts with a
been
G.
the go-to comic place, I guess. For
Yeah.
there's some more unknown ones, but it's always been Phil Bars
Because
because
the
they're
one in Fully Booked now, though. They're pretty up to date.
Yeah, actually.
Like on the top floor.
yeah, but Fully Booked and big book stores like that are mostly there. You're going for the for the
trades,
compilations.
right?
Yeah,
For the trades. But then they recently, or it was last year, what was the name of the comic book shop? They opened they opened on the top floor of Fully Booked. So
I haven't
like,
been there yet.
you can get them. You can get up to date comics.
Oh.
Like they come out on Thursdays and stuff. Oh yeah,
Ah,
they
the,
know
the
their
one in
markets.
the one in Green Hills, I think, has something similar where they have comics on top. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
it's also, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's also Phil Bars.
I'm not sure.
Because
It's not Phil Bars. It's
not.
not Phil Bars. Well, anyway, yeah. So we're gonna be spoiling the more recent stuff. Robin is coming back, and it's gonna be Damian Wayne.
Nightwing is
I think
new, Batman.
it was Peter J. Tomasi, I think, that like outright said it. Like, yeah, Damian Wayne is gonna be resurrected, quote unquote, because like he died. Yeah,
It's
He
one.
died?
There's one thing I never.
yeah, dude. He was killed by like Ra's al Ghul. Killed, quote unquote.
Yeah, basically when it comes
Yeah.
to comics,
Well,
one thing I
grandfather.
learned: people never stay dead for long.
With the exception of the Waynes, Gwen Stacy.
Even Gwen Stacy wasn't dead for long. After a while, she was like cloned and.
Yeah, but then you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's like yeah. But then there are like some characters that just can't come back to life, right? Like the Waynes. This is of course not counting Flashpoint. That was like the best tie-in, right? Like the Batman of the Flashpoint universe.
Yeah,
Amazing. So you have the Waynes. You have Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
You have the Parkers. The Parkers are never coming back. They tried, but then they were clones or robots
Yeah.
or something.
They never.
Gwen Stacy.
If ever they're back for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that canon back.
Yeah, like for example, House of M. Basically, Spider-Man there never lost his uncle.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
got married to Gwen. They were alive, but of course it wasn't. It was already established. It was a parallel universe created by something or something like that.
Who else is dead?
No, currently, Jean Grey.
I mean, not. Yeah, well,
dead.
so is Professor X and Wolverine, but we know that they're going to be coming back.
Sooner or later, yeah.
You can't kill off such a huge property.
No, the worst part is when it comes to Jean Grey, she's like the epitome of of multiple resurrections.
Well, she is a phoenix.
Well, so is
No, she's not.
She was a phoenix.
She's not the Phoenix. It's
No,
an
dude, she was
entity.
found she was found in like a clam underwater, right? It's like, the Phoenix just used her like appearance or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, what's it? Professor X as well. Like he is also
Dead.
die and come back
a number
or whatever,
of times,
yeah?
and
Like even in the movies, he died and came back.
He just keeps possessing a different
actually that
body.
was never really explained, no?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of stuff in comics really isn't explained.
Yeah.
How did apart from the blanket term, the New 52, right? How did Barbara Gordon go back to being Batgirl from being Oracle, right? Like it really isn't explained
yeah,
other
it
than
isn't
the New
explained.
52. So like,
No, basically the only thing that we mentioned was she healed from her injury, from her spinal
surgery
injury
or something.
yeah. So like, Professor
Wasn't
X just
interesting.
sort of came back to life. But
kind
no,
of affected.
at least this one has an explanation. Professor X leaves and returns and comes back with different lower bodies, I think, because at times like, I can't walk. Wait, I can walk now. Wait, I can't walk.
But
like
it's the
that,
same
like that
face.
show Lost.
Yeah, same exact. It just changed.
It was like his twin brother or something, right? Like
Whoa,
one of
that's a
his
lot of twin
clones.
brothers. That's like quadruplets in it.
One of these glow.
the Clone Saga.
That would actually make sense considering the fact that they're all psychically linked.
All the Xavier. That's his last name, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xavier.
Charles. Yeah, Charles Xavier.
Xavier.
Yeah. Okay. What's his first name? Like, Professor.
What's his last name? X.
It's gotta be like one of the worst code names ever. It's like Professor X. Okay, how many professors start with an X, and we'll work down from there.
Who else is dead?
Who else is dead?
I'm thinking about it. Right? The Kents are dead.
The Kents are
The guys are dead.
Even Mama Ken?
Well, his dad. Like, I think they're dead.
No, the father is the father is the wife isn't, I think.
Are we
Martha?
basing it on the new Superman?
I don't
movie,
know.
or-
Sorry, I'm a bit. But I kind of stopped reading much of the 52 after the new 52. So yeah.
Oh man, I haven't been reading Superman.
Neither have I.
Like, I don't think.
But yeah,
I don't think so though. I don't think so.
Here's one thing that annoys me the most: when they overpower characters
Oh,
after a particular time period. I mean, for
You
example,
mean like Batman?
dude, no, Batman is Batman
Captain
can just do
Universe,
anything.
Spider-Man?
No, like Superman.
You mean like Batman?
Superman during the Infinite Crisis, he lost his powers while after fighting Superboy Prime.
Right.
So what happened was he suddenly had they tried everything because he went through Red Sun. They tried everything to heal it back. Apparently, he doesn't want to go back. Then finally, when it came back, now he could like process things at inordinate amounts. He's so fat. His mind is as fast as his body, to the point wherein he was like, "Okay, Batman tested it out. I need you to find out what's wrong with this guy's brain." So it's okay. Here's a rough sketch. So you call an MRI quality drawing as a sketch.
Well, yeah, dude, Superman is pretty imbalanced as well.
Yeah.
But they kind of nerfed him for the new 52. Like, he's back to like normal Superman. The person that they buffed was the Flash.
really? In what way could you buff the Flash?
Actually, you'd be surprised after the recent explanations of the Speed Force. Flash is actually imbalanced.
Yeah, dude, he travels back in time and stuff. Like,
There's this one.
Run across
I'm
the
not sure if
world
it's
type
here.
thing.
Give me a minute, but continue on.
Like while Dave does his research live.
Well, the thing about the Flash that who was writing the Flash, Brian Buccellato and Francis Manapol. Francis Manapol, Filipino Canadian artist, one of the best, one of the best like artists writing for or working on DC books now. Like, what they did was they gave him like super fast brain stuff.
Well, so now he's also super smart.
No, it was already
Not
explained.
super smart, but like he can see
Yeah, it was
every
ex-
possible outcome because his brain works as fast as his metabolism because Speed Force.
No, right now I
I would
read
have thought
it.
that he
The
just
current-
run into the other.
The current thing about Flash is he basically perceives things at less than an attosecond. So basically, an attosecond, the amongst normal human beings and amongst the machines we have right now,
Right.
the shortest amount of time that can be perceived is 12 attoseconds. And basically, the translation is speed of light within a second it goes around the world in 1 second. It's more than enough times.
Okay, yeah.
Within an attosecond, it just has enough time to reach from one molecule to the next molecule.
Right.
And he said less than an attosecond.
So it's the Flash. Well, it's Barry Allen.
Barry Allen. Because it was shown in the Rebirth that he was actually the source of the Speed Force. So yeah, he is.
So he just kind of bequeaths
The
his
weird part
power.
was he actually went back in time, and he was the lightning bolt that hit himself.
Yeah, I found that so weird. He was a lightning bolt that hit himself.
Yeah.
But what's it?
He's just
There's
kind of
another
like-
person that has to stay dead. His mom has to stay dead.
Yeah.
Because if his mom doesn't die, then
But at least they explained his mom's death in a way. it was Professor Zoom's fault.
Yeah. What's his name? The Reverse Flash.
Huh?
The Reverse Flash had like a lot to do with
with
Flashpoint.
Yeah, because he was actually capable of creating his own Flash, his own Speed Force, the negative Speed Force.
Yeah.
On the opposite side of things, like what about the people who can't absolutely die?
Like
I can say for Spider-Man, there's
Professor
Aunt May.
No, Aunt May was...
Yeah, Aunt May, but then that's true though.
Yeah, it was actually... oh my god, I hate this comic. One more day. I hate this comic so much.
Is this the one where she died? She got shot?
Yeah, and what happened was they sacrificed basically... Okay, so do we kill Aunt May and let
This
the
is the
story
joke
actually progress into something awesome?
This is the Joker Sada comic.
Yeah, it's Joe Quesada. It's Joe Quesada.
Do we let Aunt May die and give him more tragedy and make him a more awesome character, or do we just destroy years of continuity by making Peter Parker and Mary Jane never have been married?
Well, the thing that's if you heard laughter in the background, that's Miko from Third World Gaming. What's it? But then part of me though really likes it when status quos are shaken. Yeah, when you uproot the status quo like that. So say like all of a sudden Peter Parker and Mary Jane are no longer married. So that is potentially interesting story that you can sort of go
explore,
down. Right?
Yeah. It's easier to explore a life with a Spider-Man without Mary Jane than a Spider-Man without Aunt May, I guess.
But there are problems when it comes to that if you change the storyline to an extreme degree like that. For example, the New 52. Again, sorry, I'm a bit hating on this.
But the thing about the New... I'll defend the New 52. Anyway, just go on.
Wherein apparently Superman's right now and the Wonder Woman have the hots for each other, right?
Right.
Yeah, and who did... what happened to Batman? Did he go for Catwoman? No, she went for Lois Lane.
Batman went for Lois Lane?
Yeah.
But then there was a point... There was a point in... It was the first not episode. Sorry. It was the first issue of Catwoman, the book. The first issue of Catwoman, the New 52, ends with the most ridiculous scene I have ever seen in like modern comics.
Which is...
Well, no, not most ridiculous, but a pretty funny scene where it is Batman and Catwoman like going at it. Right? Note I didn't say Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle. Spoilers. Because secret identity. They were going at it, but like with their masks on and everything else off. Like that was retarded. But yeah, like it's still there. It's still there though.
Secret identity.
We both know who each other is. Let's just keep the masks on.
No. Secret identity, dude. It's more like I don't know who you are, but I want to do things with you.
Getting some strange.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of strange.
The
Doctor Strange.
The good Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't really follow Doctor Strange.
Well, Doctor Strange is...
See, I'm more DC than I am Marvel.
Yeah. Well, Doctor Strange movie is
coming out, right? Yeah.
I'm actually kind of interested in what they're gonna do with them because, I don't know much about Doctor Strange except the fact he's supposed to be the most powerful mystic in the Marvel universe.
Didn't he go to the Himalayas after spotched surgery to...
Doctor Strange is Batman? Sorry. Yeah.
That'll explain how
because
good he is.
like his hands are like out of commission or something. So like
no, there was one point that his hands were out of commission. What happened? He basically placed like morning stars connected onto both hands.
Yeah, but because he was like a brilliant surgeon or something. Like,
he was.
He's a doctor surgeon guy.
He's a MD doctor actually.
Yeah. Which is because we all like came from the academe pretty much. Like, whenever we hear the word doctor, we don't necessarily think of MDs straight away.
Yeah, we have the PhD doctor.
PhD.
Doctor of the occult. Oh, that's a PhD.
Yeah. Or like,
his name is actually Strange, though.
Yeah.
His name is Stephen Strange, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a point of contention, I remember, in Big Bang Theory, why basically Stan Lee named all his characters with with
With an
first,
alliteration.
yeah, basically the first letter of every name. Is
Yeah,
also
Peter Parker,
Stephen
Stephen
Strange, Jonah James
James
Jameson.
Jonah.
Yeah.
So-
Reed Richards. Why though? Yeah. Why?
What was the argument?
Yeah, wala lang. It's just it was never explained. He just wanted it that way.
Well, that is Stan Lee's MO. He's like, I do what I want.
Susan Storm. Then Ben Grimm appears, and whoa,
Ben Brim, Gen Grim. Oh man,
what else?
what else have you been? What are you caught up on?
Recently,
Yeah.
actually, I've been. If there's one comic series that I'm still up to date with, it's Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Oh,
The series is beautiful. I
wow.
So
That's
tell us
really
about
good.
it.
Well, if have you heard of the game?
Kind of, yes.
Well,
It's like
I saw
it's
it
a
on the
fighting
App Store.
game.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
The comic basically is the
The universe that it exists in, right?
yeah, and it's a prologue to the actual game itself.
Right.
So it starts out with I'm gonna spoil.
We're totally gonna spoil the death of Lois Lane.
Yeah. Basically,
Lewis Lane.
Lewis. Anyway, the whole point is what happens if Superman became
Dictator for life,
an
man.
insane tyrant. Yeah, and it was shown that apparently really bad shit.
Yeah, did you end up with like
And of course, who is there the only person capable of stopping him?
Batman.
Lex Luthor?
No.
Lex Luthor in his cool suit thingy. And Batman being
No, here's
Batman
the thing.
leading the resistance.
In that storyline, Lex Luthor was Superman's friend.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, they were friends. Then it turned out that he was actually betraying Superman by helping Batman. So
Exactly. So
yeah, but look what happened when they fought. Basically,
well, yeah, fine point.
yeah, Superman just beat the living crap out of Lex
We got a good
Luthor.
video game.
Yeah.
But the storyline is actually really nice for the prologue. It puts everything in its place as to why even the new characters are coming in. It explains why they were useful and they were actually there in the prologue. So yeah, Batman, for example, apparently had a Bane moment with Superman.
Bane moment.
Yeah, basically his back was snapped.
Superman snapped Batman's back.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll fix it in, a montage or something.
No, he's basically he has no choice but to go through old school, wherein he has to go to therapy and shit. And the only way to do it is in Dr. Fate's tower. It's the only place safe enough. And the storyline also revolves around the other characters who are within the game. So, for example, in the game, why is Black Canary not there? It was explained here.
Okay.
Because Black Canary which supposedly would be the most important person to play, because Green Arrow was killed by Superman.
So instead,
Green Arrow was the one who got the super pill prototype from Superman's Fortress of Solitude, so that Batman can synthesize it. So he was the first kill, the actual kill besides the Joker. So that's the one that actually turned him insane, because it drew the line. Okay, killing bad guys, it's okay, I guess. But then he killed the teammate. That's when all crazy stuff, and it even gets worse later on, where he dons a Yellow Lantern ring. Imagine Superman.
With
it was
a
explained
Yellow
there
Lantern.
with a Yellow Lantern ring, powered by the fear of 6 billion people.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
Like, that absolutely makes sense. Too bad Sinestro is dead.
No, he's there.
Oh, no, I'm talking about...
No, he's not.
people who don't stay
in the new
dead.
52.
like, he was briefly gone.
No.
After Jeff Johns' run. Like, he was briefly gone, and then,
Yeah. The last one I read was when he became the bookkeeper. Unofficially.
Officially, spoiler.
He did not even say that it was him.
Yep.
well.
All right.
That's a lot of DC.
So that's what you've been up... That's what you've been keeping up with.
Yeah.
Just Injustice.
Injustice, because honestly, after the new 52, I was like, come on.
Hey, man. Well, I guess it depends. Like with the
What
new
is it?
52, it depends. What's it is really good. Batman, I'm saying.
Oh.
As much as I am not liking Batman in his current like the way everybody sees Batman now is like the God, Batman, I'm so cool.
Sort of me.
Yeah, like, you know, like I really hate that. Like I love the idea of, like Batman being the sort of anti-hero and not like the savior of the universe. You know, sort of like yeah, like I as much as I don't like that idea, the Batman title is really good now. With who's doing it? It's Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo.
Good
Like,
people.
it's
Good
really
people.
good.
Batman's always been known as an anti-hero. So, what change would you say is a big significance from how he is in the older comics?
I have no idea. Like that's I think it's just a reflection of society, right? Because like you have right, so you have the big three. Really, it should be the big four. Should include the Green Lantern.
No, Aquaman, dude.
Fine, the big five. Well, fine. Justice League, the Pantheon. But then
The
it's
entire universe.
like the way we as a society view Batman now is the way that society's past held Superman. Like we put Batman on a pedestal.
Yep.
When we shouldn't be putting Batman on a pedestal. Because that defeats the purpose of Batman being the everyman that has risen above like adversity.
Yeah.
Right? So like I find it weird that we put Batman on a pedestal as a society.
Well, it's probably because I would say every depiction I've seen of Batman always allows him to beat anything in his path. While, for example, Superman needs help. Batman, of course, occasionally needs help. But the thing is, he's always been shown as being capable of almost anything.
Well, that's because he's got preparation and force of will.
That's Batman's superpower.
That's Batman's
superpower is preparation and force of will.
That's why I still...
The foresight of the writer.
Yeah.
That's why when I saw that death battle thing, where
he Screw Attack's death battle where Batman lost to Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was with because they had one rule: zero preparation.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's totally a lie.
He's never unprepared. If he goes to a city, he's always prepared. He went to Superman City for a friendly visit. He still had the kryptonite ring.
Yeah. I was going to talk about something, but I totally forgot what I was going to talk about. Sort of Batman related might have been. Or was it Superman related?
But, you know, we've gone through, I guess, as far as superhero evolutions have gone, you can see, like, Wonder Woman's evolution from classic Wonder Woman with a invisible jet and, you know, typewriter, secretary type role in the Justice League to badass.
There was a period of time there, though, where she was Kung Fu Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Jive Wonder Woman.
But now she's
with a white pantsuit.
But now she's just teen angst Wonder Woman.
In a way, yeah. I haven't been I'm not sure. It's weird, right? Because it feels like there are two Wonder Womans in current continuity, right? You have the Wonder Woman of the Wonder Woman title, and then there is the Wonder Woman in the Justice League. They feel like two very different characters.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's weird. I really don't get it.
I followed the Wonder Woman comics before Infinite Crisis. It wasn't bad. It made her a badass, an extremely feminist badass, but a badass nonetheless.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, feminism in comics.
Oh, here we go. Well, women in comics are pretty underrepresented. That's it.
And whenever they're drawn, they're all drawn with, you know...
Yeah, they're all drawn a little more endowed than they should be.
Case in point.
Bigger biceps.
The ultimate, is Power Girl. Because not only does she have the so-called biggest buns in the business...
Yeah.
Her costume is absurd because it still has that opening.
Right in the middle.
Yeah,
with the cleavage window.
And
Shot
secondly,
right there.
it's been heavily established that she is a feminist.
So there's like some sort of cognitive disconnect there. Unless
all men look like Aquaman.
Exactly. It's I think it's a problem that's not only that doesn't only plague like women in comics, but is something about comic books in general, where there is the hypersexualization of human beings in comic books. Like you have the ultra muscular, perfectly square jawed Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah.
And you have Power Girl as, you know. So like
Also,
every now and then they get,
muscular and square jawed.
but then with like a tremendous rack, you know, like it's problematic, I think, like in comics, you know.
I would say when it comes to for example, racism, feminism, pretty much any controversial thing, they always try to input it. Marvel's a bit more. How should I put this?
In your face about it?
Actually, weirdly enough, they try to be in your face, but end up very, very discreet. For example, the idea of mutants.
Oh yeah, as being an analog.
Yes, so they end up being really discreet. While in DC, the problem is they're too. It's too obvious. Like for example, New 52.
Alan Scott.
Boom, Alan Scott. This guy's like.
The Rainbow Lantern.
Yeah, for example, the Green Lanterns. Before Geoff Johns' run ended, it was like, oh, we have a Hispanic Green Lantern now! Yay!
Well, yeah. But what's it was also pretty in your face about it, though. What was it? There was what was the most recent Marvel wedding? It was a gay wedding, and they made a big deal out of it as well.
Which one?
It was in one of the X-Men books.
If it were one of the X-Men, would it be there's? Colossus. I know Colossus.
No, not Colossus.
No. What's his name? North Star.
Yeah, North Star. There we go. Like they made a big deal out of it. Marvel can also be pretty stunty as far as these issues go.
Interesting, Miles Morales as Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Miles Morales. It's a little too much,
Well, no, it's not, dude.
He's half black,
dude.
half
It's the
Hispanic.
ultimate universe.
Already, he's also gay.
He's gay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's like the ultimate universe, though. Like it's sort of like anything that comes out of the ultimate universe, I can give like a free pass to.
The ultimate universe has always been crazy ass.
Like you can just do whatever you want,
dude.
You know?
I mean, of course you can do like gay and whatnot, but incest.
Well, yeah, fine. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
We got to draw the line somewhere.
There's some things we don't ever condone.
Pietro Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Pietro Scarlet. We don't talk about that.
Which makes me wonder, considering the fact that that Marvel right now initially was Samuel L. Jackson, which is the Ultimate Universe, and the storyline is based on an Ultimate Universe,
Yeah.
And here comes Wanda and Pietro.
It's actually like I want to see how they're going to justify having 2 Scarlet Witches and 2 Quicksilvers in the movies.
No, it was already mentioned. There's no mention of mutants anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they contractually they can't.
Fair enough. It's just highly coincidental.
Wink, wink. Yeah,
They're on parallel universes.
Yay! Not this again.
Scarlet Witch is really like imbalanced as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Actually, her initial abilities were not so bad. It's the manipulating probability field. So, what are the chances of this piece of rock falling on your head instead of 200 miles away? And but now it's more of the level of
like I can do whatever.
Of reality bending.
Yeah.
And initially, there's only one mutant capable of doing that. That was Franklin
the
Richards.
Last Airbender. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm.
Spoilers.
So, no, well, not really, because he's been there for a long time.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
We're like 15, 20 years now.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that somehow now Scarlet Witch is so omnipotent to the point where she can literally change the whole reality.
Yeah.
Wherein she's now a quote-unquote powerless-looking individual and Magneto's the king of the world.
Is this the House of M?
House of M.
How's
Yeah,
it?
right.
Man, she's like, no more mutants. Oops, there are like 300 of us left.
There was an asterisk.
Oh man, it was good though. Like House of M, I enjoyed House of M.
It was fun. It was definitely fun.
And it's what gives us the Scott Summers of today.
Yeah.
And I find that so weird.
What?
Like the dichotomy, like it's always been the dichotomy between Wolverine and Cyclops.
Scott, yeah.
Right.
It's always been Cyclops, the straight-nosed kid, the one, the poster boy of being a good...
the leader.
Yeah.
You know.
And we have Wolverine, the rebel, who doing all the dirty jobs, and always being a badass. And now
it's like the roles have totally
yeah,
reversed.
totally
What?
reversed.
Rob
It's like-
Wolverine, the leader.
Yeah, Logan was the one that Wolverine was the one that set up the Jean Grey school.
Yeah,
after it
he was the
taken down.
headmaster.
Yeah, he was the
And then
headmaster.
here comes Cyclops murdering and killing people and not regretting a single bit of it. And it was even explained during the consequences,
AVX consequences.
yes,
yeah.
wherein he wrote a letter to Wolverine saying, "Hey, you know what? It's time for you to be the face, while it's time for me to do all the dirty work."
Yeah. Think of it like it was
Straightforward.
well, not AVX, but like House of M, right? It was a lot like Civil War in that you have Iron Man and Captain America that are two very different like ideologies clashing. When it came to House of M, that was Wolverine and Cyclops, where Cyclops was like, we have to be militant,
Right.
and Logan was like, Wolverine was like, this isn't what Jean would have wanted, this isn't what Professor Xavier would have wanted.
Right, right.
So that's sort of the friction there, and it carries on to this day.
And again, I guess Wolverine would know more about what Jean or Professor X would have wanted, given that they always kept restricting him.
No, you know what I believe? I believe that Scott Summers, being the straight-nosed good boy, is it's not really who he is in a way. It's him finding himself. Because if you read all the different versions of him in other what ifs and whatnot, for example, there's this one
The what ifs and whatnot.
yeah, but there's this one comic book series wherein Legion, Professor Xavier's son, changed reality. And trapped most of reality inside a box. Now, in that portion, Scott Summers was made into was still a hero, but an anti-hero.
Okay.
He was utilized by Arcade as a way to execute prisoners. So what happened was his eyelids were removed so he can non-stop yung kanyang optic blast.
Like
and it affected his morality to the point where he just literally disintegrates and destroys everything in his path.
Right.
So him growing up under the care of Charles Xavier influenced him being a good boy. But realizing his actual capability and having an ability of omnipotence thanks to the Phoenix Force gave him a truer view of what he can do and what is right. So it's a twisting of his ideology.
And now that Xavier is gone,
But even though he even said, do I regret doing it? Yes, I do. Will I do it again? Yes.
It's more compass thing.
That was crazy when he got what were they? They were the Phoenix 5.
Yeah, the Phoenix 5.
Phoenix 5.
Yeah, that was one of the weirdest. I can imagine like magic floating, see what you call Emma Frost doing, but then Colossus floating midair. Unless Magneto's somewhere in the picture.
This is a little far-fetched.
I don't know. Did you like AVX? What did you think of AVX?
It was okay. I read through everything, and story-wise, it was interesting, considering the past number of problems I've had with Marvel. But then again, I guess it still suffered from one thing that I hate the most.
Which is?
Basically, the Phoenix Force.
Okay, I see. What's it? Since we're in like Marvel territory, something that you should read is Hawkeye.
Hawkeye now.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Well, not necessarily now, but like, Nicola sat down on a bunch of eggshells. Let's just say. What was it? His run on the book just ended, but it was written by Matt Fraction.
Okay.
And the pencils were by David Aja. Mm-hmm. And it was really good because it's kind of funny, It's very light-hearted yet very,
He's light-hearted now.
Yeah, dude. Hawkeye? Hawkeye or Matt Fraction?
No,
Matt Fraction is always like...
After he was resurrected again, quote-unquote.
Didn't he go on a killing spree?
Yeah, he became it's like what happened to Arsenal during DC. He became a guy who wanted to just kill everything, and he became so serious and whatnot. Then he was before, who was a jokester.
Yeah, they brought him back. Matt Fraction sort of brought him back to being like that jokey kind of. It's really good. You should check it out, and the art is amazing.
All right. Sige.
Yeah.
Favorite art in comics?
Oh man, wait, favorite art?
Yeah.
Name dropping.
God,
dude, Kingdom Come. I'm kind of biased. Kingdom Come had one of the best art I've ever seen, and I will admittedly argue with a lot of people about that. It's one of, if not my most favorite comic.
It is incredible, yeah.
But what's it? It really depends, right? Because like a lot of people will, like the whole like ultra intricate like work of Jack Kirby and like that's sort of the standard that that is held that all comic books are held to.
Yep.
But like I tend to like art that isn't sort of standard comic book art. So like the work of David Aja on Hawkeye, say the work of Jock, the work of Francis Manapul, Jeff Lemire. Oh my God, Jeff Lemire.
But there's some art that I really don't like. I forgot the part of X-Force where it looks like it was watercolored, and it doesn't really jive well considering how dark the humor was.
Yeah,
and I mean, I would say art. You'd be right in the sense that art depends, but it also, I guess, depends on the storyline.
Yeah, that too.
If the art doesn't match what's being portrayed, it's not really good.
If the atmosphere doesn't match.
Yeah, even if they say you get the best artist to do this and it apparently doesn't match, it's gonna be terrible. Even though it looks good, it's actually terrible in the end.
Yeah, so it would be like what's I can't think of anything like superhero, but it would be like, say, The Walking Dead being drawn by Jim Lee.
Please God, no.
That would be funny.
It's never gonna be the same.
If he is ever listening to this, I hope he doesn't take that upon advisement.
It is not a challenge. In what way? In any way whatsoever.
That'd be funny though. Or like or say like or like Jeff Lemire drawing like Infinite Crisis, you know, like
yeah, there are limits, I guess, to what anybody can draw. Just because you're a good artist doesn't mean you're a good artist for everything.
Yeah. But then you do have some of those artists that are just amazing. Like those like they aren't the legendary artists, but they can sort of mimic the style of everybody else, and those guys are like amazing as well. You know? You know, as much as I hate to admit it, like a lot of the art in the 90s was amazing.
Yeah, in the 90s, the art was good. Just not go down to the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Superman with a
Wonder Woman in DC, the art was amazing during the 90s. Marvel,
Marvel's art was amazing. Like they had Todd McFarlane on their team.
Yeah.
Right? Like, did you see that the iconic Spider-Man cover that like took him hours upon days upon weeks to make that? Like it's one of the iconic Spider-Man covers, and you don't get very many iconic covers anymore. But like this is from 20 years ago, which is quite the feat, you know. Like wow, you know, like all the webbing and all that, like
so good.
That's the way comic books sort of are, though. They flip flop like back and forth between putting more emphasis on the art, and then putting more emphasis on the writing, then the art, then the writing. Like in the 80s, it was the British invasion, right? So you had like Neil Gaiman coming in.
Neil Gaiman,
What was his name? The bald Scottish guy.
You know,
Superman of what was it? All-Star Superman. Who wrote All-Star Superman?
Forgot.
Yeah, well, him.
Yeah.
The you know what? Just keep on talking. I'm gonna look this up.
On a side note, Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna tell this story because I still hate Fiel for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I hope that if ever Neil Gaiman hears this, he actually affirms this is true.
We need a confirmation out here.
Yeah, because my best friend, who me and my high school friends, we're all comic book lovers, if not addicts.
Nerds.
Now, it came to the point wherein when we heard Neil Gaiman was coming here, we were like, oh my god, we get to meet the awesome Sandman, Lucifer.
See him in the flesh and
Yeah. So anyway, what happened was, well, I wasn't able to see him. I think RJ was able. One of my friends, RJ, was able to see him. But in the end, in comes Fiel saying, "Hey guys, I met somebody, a writer. So where? Oh, in a Starbucks. He was leaning forward, looking at all these the juices in Starbucks.
Yeah.
And then Fiel, being his friendly self, like, oh, is there any way I may suggest to you? What's good here that's a bit citrusy? Try the calamansi juice. So they sat down, they started talking, and what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a writer.
I'm a writer.
What's your name?
I'm Neil.
Oh, my name is Neil. Neil Gaiman? Yeah, I've heard of you.
Plays it cool.
So no, it's not that.
Because like
amongst the group, he was the only one who never actually read anything made by Neil Gaiman. So it was, and at first we were like, hey, and we didn't believe him. Of course, we're like, no, that's a load of bollocks. I mean, it's impossible. Then afterwards, Neil Gaiman posted this blog on his trip here. It's like blah 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 blah. It was fun. Blah, blah. P.S. I think I'm addicted to calamansi juice.
Shout out.
Shout out to Neil Gaiman. Shout out to Fiel.
I was like, no.
Everybody's gonna be there.
Yeah, we all took turns in strangling Fiel that day.
But yeah, like the 80s, Neil Gaiman comes in, and Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
Like Grant Morrison came in as well, and
Love your Scottish, man.
because that's exactly how Grant Morrison sounds like. And so it became about the writer. Yeah, like even like Watchmen, right? Like, it's all about the writer. Then in the 90s, it went back to
Art,
like being about the artist. So you had Jim Lee, you had Todd McFarlane, you had the artist guys. You had them. And then in the 2000s, it's sort of circling back towards the writers. So like now we think about Jeff Johns,
Scott Snyder.
Yeah, Scott Snyder. That's the way it is. Like it flip flops back and forth between artist writer. Yeah.
Well, so that means the writers are into it again.
Yeah, dude. Like who is the big names now, right? Like Scott Snyder, the Matt Fraction, like those guys. But then if history is to repeat itself, we're in for another
Artist revolution.
Yeah, another Image Comics, if you will.
I think we'll ever find a happy medium between the artist and the writer balance.
Well, it was all what was it? The writers right at the beginning. The writers always like kind of hated the art. Well, not hated, but like the writers were always like unfair towards the artists, and I don't think it's ever gonna. There's always gonna be a little bit of like
back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth. Like what's it? Stan Lee with the creation of Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
Right? It was we all know Spider-Man is a Stan Lee creation, but technically he was co-created.
Wow.
Right?
Yep.
You look at Bob Kane. Like Bob Kane was pretty much a slave driver to all of his artists, right?
Yeah.
So like there.
All right. Let's take a break a bit on DC and Marvel. Have you read Invincible?
It's supposedly really good, but I have not read an issue.
No, I'm sorry.
You should try. It's another one of those superhero things, but in a different way. That there's a lot of tragedy in it.
That's Image, right?
Yeah.
Image.
The storyline, the art is not bad, but what intrigues me is the fact that they basically changed the idea of what is a teen superhero.
So like not
So
that was sort of like Kick-Ass though.
No, Kick-Ass Kick-Ass is pretty much similar in a sense, but again, this is more of the more fantastical, wherein he's actually a half-breed alien.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's intriguing because the storyline is not bad as well, considering that it was made by Image Comics. Nothing against them, but
Hey man, Image books are really good, dude. Image books. Okay, fine. Image books now are actually really good.
Yeah.
That's where some of the most original work is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the exception of Walking Dead, because that's kind of getting boring.
The amusing thing though about the comics and And there are parts where they're supposed to do something dirty and nasty, and then they say, since they break the fourth wall, since this is a comic book for the family,
13. Oh, okay.
we are now going to shift our attention towards another character while they're doing their thing.
This is Invincible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
Who wrote it? Yeah.
No, I don't remember. I'm not sure if it was multiple writers though. Because honestly, I was too immersed in the story.
Okay, because I heard about it, but like I never picked up a copy because because I keep on getting so many recommendations for image books. Because like apparently they're all really good. So like, it's one of those like, oh, it's really good. Okay, like Why the Last Man? Oh, it's really good. Like, oh, come on, man.
Well,
Why the Last Man is pretty good.
yeah, it is pretty good.
That's what's like, oh.
Sad but good.
Sad, and you kind of want to kill a lot of the characters. But yeah, pretty good.
The main character, you want to kill him multiple times.
What's it like? America's Got Powers or whatever that thing is called. That's also supposedly pretty good.
Well, when you get the chance, why not? You know, it's pretty. These comics, when as recommended, when somebody usually recommends something, I take a look. I mean, they tend to be really good.
Yeah, wait for the trades.
No, that's the thing. There are a lot of trades already.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
They're
'Cause,
like 19.
Really, it's been running for that long.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's yeah, it's thing. I can't really like afford too many books. You see.
Yeah, there's only so much I can pay for to read.
Yeah, that's why like I only really followed like a lot of the Batman and the Hawkeye stuff and just borrowed stuff from other people. Yeah.